Hey, good afternoon, guys. How's everybody doing? This is Jose with International Solutions. Just getting on here live, and I'm trying to see if we can make something happen today. Wait for people to get on the line. Just got home in from work. Been working a lot lately this past couple of days. If you're just logging in, let me know what state you're from and what city you're in. Hey, what's going on, DJ? What's going on, buddy? Uh, I got those pictures from the injectors, and they look fine to me. I can't really see the O-rings on them, but if you can resend them, I can look at them again. If you guys are just logging in, let me know from what state you're in and what city, if you don't mind. I've been calling you slacking. Oh man, come on, DJ. What do you mean I've been slacking, man? It's the holidays, man. We got a lot of work going at work. Where's everybody else from? Let me know what states. I see 4 people on there. Let me know what states you're in. I see 5 people. Having issues with my truck. Okay. What kind of issues? Maryland. Oh, hello, Maryland. Beautiful state, never been there, but I heard a lot of good things about it. Maryland, okay. My voltage is going crazy, 14 to 18 volts. You got a bad transmission, man. If you're getting 14 to 18 volts, you got a bad transmission. Just joking, man. I'm just trying to mimic some of the mechanics. Like you go in with a problem, and all of a sudden you're walking out with something different. If you're going from 14 to 18 volts, most common thing would be that your alternator is overcharging. I would check your alternator. Seems like your alternator is overcharging. Who else is in there? I see we have one from Maryland. DJ, where are you from? Who else do we have here on the line? Maryland, and okay, I see 6 people. Okay, where are you guys from? I see one from Maryland, and that's it. I don't see anybody else. Anybody else wants to tell me exactly where you guys are from? Okay, North Carolina. Andrew, hey Andrew, what's going on, man? Long time no see. Well, I got you on Facebook, so I kind of see you on Facebook. North Carolina. How's the weather over there right now? Is it cold? Is it hot? At night, my light flickers when I put the turn signal, so I was thinking that it's ground issues. Oh, Andrews, it's cold. DJ, I bet it's cold. Over here, we're 42 degrees, Andrew. DJ, Felix, when my engine starts cold, it leaks a lot of oil, but when it hits up, the leak slows down. Okay, your oil is basically leaking because your O-rings or your gaskets, basically, especially if it's O-rings, when they're cold, they shrink. But whenever they get hot, they expand. So that's the reason why you begin to lose less oil whenever you have your truck warming enough to where it needs to get to. Andrew, we're 42 degrees out here. Oh, DJ, man, 11 degrees. Where are you at, Andrew? I do not want to be there. 11 degrees. Excuse me, guys. I just got home from work. 11 degrees, Massachusetts. Wow, that is cold. I don't want to be there. Do we have anybody from California? I'm looking for someone, especially in California. If you're around there in California, let me know if you're in California. Do you think it's a ground issues? It could be, but I will first of all shoot for my alternator. I will get the alternator tested first of all to make sure, because more than likely your alternator is overcharging. Your alternator is going to do 2 things. It's going to undercharge or it's going to overcharge. Southern California, Roman, what's going on, Roman? Roman Ramos, hey, what's going on, buddy? 2000, don't tell me, 2008, 2012 Max Force, I believe, Roman. I think I could be wrong. But getting back to the alternator, it does two things. Either it's gonna undercharge or it's going to overcharge. Will that cause a fire? I mean, not a real. I ended up sitting mine down. I spent about 3,000. I gave up. Man, Andrew, wow, 3,000. Hey, brother, saludos, Roman Ramos. Good afternoon, brother. Alternator. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you yes, and I'm not gonna tell you no. It's gonna burn your truck down, but I would definitely get that checked out. Now, here's what I can tell you: if you're overcharging, you might damage your ECM, your IDM. Those things are not supposed to get more than the voltage they're supposed to get. That's it. If you're overthrowing voltage over there, you will end up frying something. So I would get that alternator checked. I wouldn't let that go. Is anybody else here? Okay, Felix, is that a good thing or a bad thing with the O-rings? Definitely, that's bad. You're welcome. You're welcome, DJ. Felix Bonilla, that's definitely bad, sir. Because if your oil rings are only getting swollen after they get hot, that means they got to be changed. Definitely, they got to be changed. You don't want to be leaking oil, especially right now with this cold weather. Nobody wants to break down in the middle of this crazy weather. And also, you're losing a lot of oil. Now, why do we have to change our oil at? I always change my oil at 4,500 or 5,500 or 6,500 miles because keep in mind, the thinner your oil, it gets to go through the gaskets a whole lot faster. Okay, a whole lot faster. Anybody? Where else? Where else is everybody else from? I see we have North Carolina, we have Maryland, Massachusetts. Is anybody in here from California? I need somebody to hit me up. If you're in California, I need to talk to you. Felix, you're welcome, Felix. If anybody's in California or has a buddy in California, I need to get a hold of you. I need a favor on your behalf. So if anybody is looking, is in California, I need to speak to you. What other states are we have people from? What other states do we have on here besides Massachusetts, Maryland, North Carolina? What states are we from? And throw me your questions. If I don't know the answer, I'll definitely get back to you. Anybody else there that can tell me what state they're in from? Anybody else? What other states are we from? Anybody else has any more questions? Or tell me what bugs you the most about your truck. Another thing, when I be driving, okay, what's going on when you're driving? What's up, bro? I'm in California. Roman, perfect. All right, Roman. Talk to me, brother. What part of California? It dies like half a second. If it dies for half a second, once again, DJ, I will go back to your alternator. Start inspecting your alternator. That'd be the first thing that I would do. Second, if it dies for a second, my most common issue with that I have seen is the camshaft sensor. That's the one that goes in front of the radiator. I see someone from California. What part of California are you in? I think I've seen Roman in there. What part of California are you from, Roman? Okay, all right, DJ. What part of California? Okay, Oscar Lopez. I'm in Southgate, California. Let me ask you a question, Oscar Lopez. Oh, okay, Oscar. Okay, Southgate, California. Okay, all right. Roman, Garden Grove. Roman Ramos. Let me ask you a question, sir. How far are you from Los Angeles, California? I'm trying to see if we can make something happen. Help another fella with an international truck be able to help him out. So how far are you from Los Angeles, California, from where you're located at? Okay, we're still trying to find out, see how far that is. I don't have a map in front of me, so I wouldn't be able to see where you guys are located. Uh, Garden Grove is about 25 minutes from me, if I'm not mistaken. Perfect. All right. Okay. All right. So Roman, I believe it's Roman, right? Can you go ahead and reply again, Roman? You're the one that's in Garden Grove. Okay. Perfect. Roman Ramos. Okay, Mr. Roman. Uh, just wanted to ask you for a favor, basically, on my behalf. We have a guy in Los Angeles, California, that is going through, times that everybody goes through in time. You have a business, you have a truck. Sometimes you have a hard time getting a repair done. Sometimes you can't find honest. Yes, Oscar, we're practically neighbors. Yeah, definitely. So, Mr. Roman, I'm gonna see if you can contact me. I think you. I don't know if you have my phone number or the email address. If you can contact me, uh, I'm trying to see if we can help Mr. Oscar. He needs a small favor. He's willing to to contribute you back for economically speaking, because I do understand everybody that drives a truck, time is money, so that's understandable. He's running an issue, and we just need to borrow. What your model truck do you have, Roman? That makes a world of a difference. What year model truck do you have, Roman? Let me know, Mr. Roman. What kind of year model truck do you have? Let's see. Okay. They're typing. How's everybody doing? Where's everybody else from? Okay. Mine will crank up, push up the gas about 30 feet, and loses all gas pedal. Okay, Andre. Does it completely die, or it just doesn't want to go anymore? Does it feel like it's choking? Is it blowing smoke? Is it losing power? Is it losing prime? Or what exactly are we looking at? Because that could be three, four things. It could be a fuel pressure regulator. It could be a fuel pump. It could be a clog filter. What your model is it, Andre? And it could also be that you have something blocking your fuel tank in your pickup tube. That could also be another thing. Missed. Okay. The O rings from the oil cooler were recently changed, but it still leaks. Huh. Okay. Were they torque? Javier, I'm from Maryland. Great info. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jasper. Roman, I deal with '08 Max Force. Okay, perfect, Roman. Perfect. We have a '07 in Los Angeles, California. It's a box truck, and we're trying to borrow a part. It has nothing to do with programming. I will. If Roman, do you have my email address where you can send me an email, and I can contact you with Oscar? And like I said, he's willing to give you a contribution, economically speaking. We're just trying to make sure that the part that he needs to change is the right part, because at this point, we have mechanics telling him that it's the fuel pump, that the fuel filter, and even the a sensor, and he's already tested that, and it doesn't seem to work. And we looked at some of the codes he has, and it seems like it's that part. So Roman, let me know if you have the email address. If you do have that email address, send me an email, and I will reply back to you so I can contact you with Oscar. And guys, we all been in that boat when rent is due, bills are due, truck payment is due, employees payment is due, and your truck is down, or a couple of your trucks are down. So we all been in that boat before. I don't need to explain it to anybody, and I would hate for anybody to go through that time. And what I always tell people, and this is gonna sound kind of bad, if you do take your truck to a mechanic, and the mechanic tells you, "Hey, it's your ECM. We need to change out your ECM." Okay, okay, I got you. Okay, Roman. So you do have my email address, right? Let me know, Roman Ramos. You do have my email. If not, I can give it to you live here. Let me know. So getting back to the story, you take your truck to a mechanic, and your mechanic says, "Hey, we need to change out the ECM." We take the trucks to mechanics because that's what they do for a living. What do we do for a living? We drive, right? That's all we do. That's all we can do. Drive and deliver and pick up and drop off. That's all we do. Some of us, I don't have your email, brother. Okay. All right, Roman Ramos. It's fix, Fix, my, M as in mom, Y as in you, 4300 4300 D as in David, T as in Tom, 466 at gmail.com. Fix my 4300 DT 466 at gmail.com. I also have I issue I used the Power Pro to test the wires, and I got okay, Andre. If you go into the YouTube channel, I actually have a video that shows you exactly what to do, how to do it, how to grab your multimeter and actually test that horn. Okay, if you look in there, you're gonna find that it's some of the it's gonna be at the very bottom. So getting back to seeing your mechanic, you go and see your mechanic. Your mechanic tells you, hey, we need to change the ECM. All you gotta say is, great, you found the problem, let's fix it. Go ahead and buy the ECM, which is $2,000, $3,000, maybe 1,000 if you get it on the cheap. Go ahead and install it and give me a ring when it's ready, and I'll come back and pay you. Okay? But you do have to say, but if the truck doesn't start, don't expect a penny out of me because you changed something that was not supposed to be changed. Okay? Simple as that. You will see how fast your mechanic is going to tell you, hey, whoa, hold on. What if that's not it? And that's when you answer, well, that's why I brought it to you. Because you are a mechanic and that's what you do for a living. So if you're saying that it is ECM, let's change it out. But I will pay you all in one bill, and that's it. But if it doesn't work, don't expect a penny out of me. And you will see how quick your mechanic will give you the runaround and tell you, you know what, I'm booked up right now. I really can't work on it. As soon as you hear that, man, I suggest you pack your bags and go. Because obviously, they're going to throw parts at it. And anybody can throw parts at it. You, as an owner operator, you can throw parts at it. No problem. Okay? You need to know the difference between your mechanics. You have mechanics that you can tell your mechanic, hey, I have a hole right here. Fix this hole for me. Right? Now you have mechanics that you can tell them, hey, I fill this up in the morning. By nighttime, this thing is low. Can you find the problem? So you got two kind of different mechanics. You have mechanics that are only good at doing heavy duty work, and you have mechanics that can actually diagnose problems. Those are your two kind of mechanics, and those are the ones you really want to find out what kind of mechanic you have. Not just because it's a diesel mechanic means that they'll be able to work on your truck. Keep that in mind. If I could sit here and tell you all the stories that I have heard, you will probably be sick to your stomach of the different stuff that a lot of mechanics. Now, I'm not burning the mechanic shops. No way, no way. There's a lot of good mechanics, but there's a lot of mechanics that are learning on your equipment. They're learning as they're going. And guess what, guys? The money that we make, we can't afford to let somebody learn on our equipment. When we take it to a mechanic, is because we know that that's what they do for a living, and we expect them. If you ask Ramos or Oscar, hey Oscar, can you get to Los Angeles, California, pick up my package, drop it off in New York, guess what they're gonna say? Yes, sir. That's what I do for a living. Will you pay me here? I'll pay you half when you pick up and half when you drop. And that's your full payment, because Oscar and Ramos know that that's what they do. But if you show up to a mechanic and tell them, hey, go ahead and fix it, I'll pay you when you get done, guess what? If they're not real sure, then that's when they'll be like, whoa, hold on. I don't have $2,000 to spend. My next question to you be like, okay, and you think I do? So if you're asking me to change the computer, let's do it. But it's coming out of your pocket, and I will pay you the moment he gets back. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about. I see 11 people on here. What other states are you from? Oh, by the way, my son gave me this cup for my birthday. So he's like, Dad, I want you to show your cup that I gave you on your video. I said, okay, son, you got it. Okay. So the next thing I want to cover here is very simple. Whoa, Horsma, Minnesota. My goodness. Hey, those Vikings are kicking butt, man. Minnesota Vikings. They're something else. Them Super Bowl pretenders, but we still got the Cowboys going on over here. You know, we're in the Cowboy Nation where we can lose 6 games the whole season, and guess what? We're still headed to the playoffs. Will a 2015 DP work on my '07 Joe DP? What year model did you say again? And DP, are we talking about the pedal? Let me know what kind of year model you said again and what part are we talking about. Okay, diesel pedal. No, sir, it has to be international. Oscar Lopez, it has to be international. Let's not throw anything else in there if it's not international. And first of all, you don't want to buy it, even if it costs 40, 50 bucks, $100, and you buy it and it doesn't work. That's $100 that you throw in the trash. Okay, so no, that doesn't work. So the next thing we want to get to is ask questions. Ask questions. Do you guys remember the first time you guys went on a date and you would get in the car with whether it's your wife now or your fiance or whatever? Will 2015 work though? I'm not sure, Oscar. I'm not real sure on that. If for 2015 will work, we could try it, but I'd rather be a year later than 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then 8 years later. So that's 8 years later for your truck. So I will actually stick to a 2008 instead. Okay, that's what I would stick to. So getting back to the date, your first date with your wife or with your fiance or whoever that special someone is for you, and you ask them, hey, where do you want to go? Oh, I don't care. We can go wherever you want to go. No problem. You're paying anyway, right? That's the key word. You're paying anyway, so we can go wherever you want. Okay, let's apply it to our mechanics. Okay, whenever your mechanics, you take your vehicle to your mechanic, and your mechanic tells you, "Hey, we need to change your fuel pump." Oh, okay, sure, no problem. All mechanics know that we're not mechanic lenient, and if they tell us something, we're going to believe it. But I want to change that mentality on you guys. Hey guys, you guys are coming in. Let me know what state you're from. In what state you're from, and basically, hello. Whether if you're from another state or from another nation or wherever you're from, de dónde eres, pon en qué estado estás o en qué nación. Si hablas español, también hablo español. Entonces, let us know what state you're in. So, okay, will a pedal from a stick shift work? Yes, sir, it will. Yes, sir. Pedal from a standard will work. It's the same application. As long as it's 2 years to '08, you're fine. Your truck is a '07, so yeah, we're about fine. Hey, hello, number 13. Hello, number 14. How are you? Let me know what state you guys are from. So getting back to the issue. Okay, good job, Oscar. Okay, all right. Let me know if you found somebody, Oscar. Let me know, please. Okay, getting back to the issue. Your mechanic tells you, hey, Jose, we need to change out your high pressure oil pump. It's not working. That's why you can't start your truck. Okay. First thing that comes to your mind, okay, how much could an oil pump be? High pressure oil pump? Well, if you get a cheap one, 500 use, up to 1,000 maybe use. If you want to buy a brand new from the dealership, you're looking at $2,000 plus installation. Okay. And your mechanic says, yeah, let's change that out because that's what your problem is. Right there, you should start bells should be ringing in your head. Okay, that's 2 grand. That's a grand. 1,500 with parts, labor, and everything. What if the truck doesn't start? So you got to start asking questions because you are paying for that. Okay, you are paying for that. They're not doing it for free. Okay, you're paying for that. So my first question would be, okay, well, Flavio, okay, you say my Huey pump doesn't work. Can you tell me why it doesn't work? And then right there, when you say the word, can you tell me why is the piece that is bad? If your guy begins to stumble, or if your guy tells you, let me call you back, or if the guy tells you, let me do further testing, then we know that we're actually knocking on the door there. Hey, tell me why we need to change it. Okay. Another thing will be like, well, how did you come up with that conclusion? Okay. A mechanic shouldn't be offended. If somebody's paying me to do a job and they ask me, hey, Jose, why do I need to change that part? Well, guess what? It's Jose's job to explain to Bob or Mario or Oscar and explain to him exactly why that piece needs to be changed. Okay? If a mechanic just tells you, I haven't yet besides the 2015. Okay, Oscar, don't worry. We have our feller over there in California. He sent me an email. I'll be looking at it after this video. Let me get back to this, but we got you covered, okay? So I have to explain to the customer why I want to change that part and what is the reason that I'm going to be changing that part, okay? For those of you that don't know it, your Huey pump should be pushing max 8,000 psi with the gauge hooked up to it. It's a certain way you got to hook it up. So if your mechanic knows what he's talking about, he already hooked it up. I'm not going to be giving all the pressures here on live because I don't want somebody to grab those pressures and tell you, oh yeah, it's 8,000 pounds of psi. So then you're going to be like, oh, Jose said 8,000 pounds, so it's good to go without even doing the testing, okay? So you got to ask questions. How many pounds is my Huey pump pushing out? Oh, well, it's pushing 22,000. Oh, whoa, hold up, man. That's kind of wild, you know. You're going to blow up the engine. Or another thing, if a mechanic tells me, hey, if your mechanic tells you, hey, we need to change your transmission. It's not shifting right. Okay, well, how can you show me, how can you prove to me that my transmission is really bad and needs to be changed? One, this is where you got to ask questions. You don't hear any grinding. Your oil's up to level. You already looked at your oil. Smell it. It smells like oil, like regular oil. 4, your oil is not black like it's been burned. Your oil's that reddish color. So those are the 4 things that you should be thinking about before changing a transmission. Now, it could be as simple as a wire. It could be as simple as a computer. It could be as simple as a harness disconnected. It could be as simple as a wire rubbing on the chassis. What other state are you guys from? I see 13 people in there. Another thing that really gets my attention when people say, hey, for instance, we have one Windstar, Robin Hood, Texas. What part of Texas, man? We might be neighbors. Windstar, Robin Hood. I want to say you're close to Oklahoma because that Windstar is maybe about 100 miles from where I stay at. So, Windstar, what part of Texas are you from? Dallas, get out of here, Robin Hood. Well, hello, man. Are you a Cowboys fan or you're another fan from somewhere else? So, getting back to that changing part thing. Let me see what's another good example that I have heard. Okay, here's another one. 03 International DT466 in Fort Worth, Texas. A guy calls me out. He said, "Hey, I'm having issues with my truck. I can't get it started." And he's like, and a lot of mechanics already came by and looked at it. None of them can get it started. Can you please come and look? I say, yeah, sure. Let's go. I went and looked at it, hooked up the scanner. My scanner kept on throwing me injector number 2. Okay. So I told the guy, hey, you know what? It sounds like it's injector number 2. I did the buzzer test. It buzzes. I disconnected it. and the engine makes a slight change, not too much, a slight change. And he goes and tells me, should we change the injector? I said, honestly, sir, no. Let's not change the injector, not until we inspect, okay? Because if you just go around throwing parts at it, you're gonna end up getting in trouble. Injector here in Dallas, you're looking at close to, let's say, give or take, about at international dealership, you're looking at close to $600. If your old injector's damaged, you're looking at about $600 with the fuel injector. Okay. Uh, so I told the guy, you know what? Thank you for all your hard work and helping us all out. Grayson, you're welcome, sir. What state are you from, Grayson? Okay, so getting back to the injector story. So I told the guy, hey, I'm already here. Let's go ahead and open it up. We open up the truck. And the only problem that I find, and put this in red writing in your notes, guys. If you guys are taking notes, put this in your writing on red. When I open up the cover, every time I tell people to go inspect certain things, do things slowly. Don't put things real fast. Reason number one, everything under that cover is full of oil. Your oil goes give or take 150 to 200 Fahrenheit. So a lot of your wires are cracked up in there already. One little boop, you can break off a wire, basically. Put it that way. Okay, you can literally break off a wire just by pulling too fast on it. The second thing that I want you to see is to always verify the position. Whatever you disconnect, and it could be a harness inside of the engine, it could be a harness inside of the head, or it could be a harness outside of your truck. Before you remove real fast, slowly pull it out real slowly. And if that thing comes whoop, like a knife through butter, then that thing is not making a good connection. Okay. Now, if you have a hard time getting it out, you have a good connection. Getting back to this story in Fort Worth, Texas, the guy was wanting to go buy an injector. And here's the story on the injector. You go to international, you go anywhere and you buy an injector, keep in mind, injectors are mechanical and electrical. So you guys know the policy, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, everybody. Once you buy something electrical, you cannot return it. It's pretty much yours. So I told the guy, hold on. Don't buy no injectors. Hold on. Let's see what we can do. Okay. Open it up. I'm beginning to pull injector number 2 real slow, and boop, that thing just literally just kind of fell over. And I told the guy, you know what? I think we solved your issue. He's like, what do you mean? Well, yeah. You have an injector that was disconnected. And he goes, oh, get out of here. I'm like, yep. Plug that sucker back up. I actually heard that click. The little click that you hear. And when I heard that little click, I know that bad boy was in there. We primed the system out again, got the air out of the system, started that bad boy, started up, did my buzzer test, did my cutoff test on it, and there it was. All I did was just charge him the service call, and 1 hour later, that was it. Versus buying a $600 injector and then coming out to find out that the injector was just basically loose. So right here, gentlemen, is where I really ask you, before you go see a mechanic, troubleshoot it yourself. Because unless you have $1,500, if you have anywhere between $3,000, between $500 and $3,000 to throw at the truck, go for it. You can do it day and night, no problem. But will you eventually find the problem? Now, let me tell you my personal story. Do you think that my issue could be an electrical problem, Oscar Lopez? Yes and no, Oscar. Why? Because you keep on getting the amber light, okay? Amber light, you have 2 lights in there, guys. You have the red light, means that the engine's trying to protect itself, so it's going to shut off the truck. Number 2, you have an amber light. Amber light just basically means, hey, something's going on. So if you keep on getting the amber light flashing, you're actually getting a code for that. Your computer on your engine is actually recording what code that is, Oscar. So it could be, but actually, anytime you guys see an amber light on your truck come on, what brand of batteries do you use? I go through a new set every year in New York. Truck isn't overcharging at 2,000. Okay. What brand of batteries do you use? I go through a new set every year in New York. Truck isn't overcharging. Okay. Noah, let me ask you this, Noah. First of all, where are you from? Okay, New York, duh, right? That was kind of like a giveaway. New York. Okay. So if you're in New York City, that's another thing we have to take in consideration. Your weather, it's awesome. It's the kind of weather where I want to play football because it's cold. Every time you get hit, you want to break in pieces. Okay. Some of the things that I will start looking at if you're going through one set of batteries every year. Question number one. Okay, the lights from the box don't turn on. I think I might have a shock somewhere. The lights from the box. Okay, what box? Are we talking about the shifter, Oscar Lopez? If we're talking about the shifter, I wouldn't really worry about that. That's very, very common issue. Getting back to Noah. Noah, three things I would definitely be looking at will be the first thing that I would be looking at is how's my starter? Because starter draws a lot of amps, okay? Number two, how's my alternator? When's the last time you changed your alternator? Number three, how many batteries are you running? Noah, are you running two or are you running three? Okay, and what kind of batteries are you using? I use heavy duty batteries, the ones the dealership international sells, or sometimes I go to Bobo, sometimes I go to Kenworth. It doesn't matter as long as they're heavy duty. And I always recommend to have three batteries. Rear box. Okay, Oscar Lopez, rear box. Exactly what box are we talking about? There's a lot of boxes in that truck. Oh, okay, rear box. You're talking about your actual truck where you pick up your loads. No, that's a completely different issue, Oscar. I wouldn't really condemn that. Alternator is new as of 2 years. It was brand new. Delco Remy. I have three. Oh crap. Okay. I have okay. Noah alternator is new as of 2 years. It was brand new. Delco Remy. I have three group 31 950 cranking amps. What kind of brand of batteries do you have, Noah? Do you have known brand or you have just mom and pops batteries? And also, that's good. You have three of them. Okay. Do you do a lot of idling, Noah? Do you turn it on and off a lot, or what kind of work do you do? That way we can see. But guys, on batteries, I recommend to run three batteries. Here's why. You have three batteries, okay? One of them, begins to mess up, right? Now you're left with two batteries, okay? You're still running around with two batteries. Now, what happens if you're only running with two batteries and you begin to get a bad battery? Guess what happens? You're left with one battery and a half. So I always recommend have three batteries. When you change out batteries, I know we're all trying to save money, but in the long runs, you'll save more money if you just buy three brand new batteries. Simple as that. If you want to sell your own batteries to somebody, go ahead and sell them to somebody else. Or if you want to have them as a trading over here in Texas, Dallas, you get $25 for each battery core. I had XI last year and the year before I was Napa batteries. Now I have Crown batteries. Okay. Uh, I never buy batteries from O'Reilly's, and I never buy batteries from Napa, and I never heard of Crown. That's the first time I hear of Crown. But what I would recommend is go to International, and sometimes they have specials over here in Dallas. They have specials where they will give you three batteries for $75 each battery for $75, but you got to pay attention to that because if you're getting a 850 750 cranking amps and you're up north where Andre's at, North Carolina, and your temperature is 11 degrees below zero, 750 is not gonna cut it. It's eventually gonna go bad real soon. New York, I would recommend you have at least 1,000 cranking amps because it gets pretty cold up there. And hopefully you are plugging in your truck while it's cold to keep your block warm. That does help a lot. I mean, a lot. Okay. Okay. Oscar Lopez. Joe, let me ask you this question. How many batteries is the truck supposed to run? Two or three? Okay, Oscar Lopez, good question. How many batteries are we supposed to run? Okay. That's a reasonable fair question. That's not asking too much. I've seen a lot of people run two batteries. I've seen people run three batteries. But here's my question. I will answer your question with another question. If you're running high voltage, if you have a boom in it, if you have a lift gate, if you have any kind of electrical stuff that sucks electricity out of your truck batteries, I would recommend you having three. If you have a reefer, three batteries. Okay, if you have a box truck that has a lift gate, three batteries. And I already explained it why. Because if you have three, one of them goes bad, you have two. If you have two batteries, one of them goes bad, you're left with one battery. Now, you do know that if you have one battery, 1.5 batteries running, your alternator is going to begin to wear out real fast because it's running out of place to store that electricity. Now, what happens when your alternator goes bad? Well, you're running on batteries now. You're no longer charging your batteries because your alternator quit working. It still spins, don't get me wrong, but everything inside of it is worn out so bad that now your batteries don't get a recharge. You're running your truck off your batteries, and alternator dies, is going to kill your batteries. If your batteries are bad, they're going to kill your alternator also. So that's the thing on that. So I don't recommend having two because, like I said, one goes bad, you're left with one. Now, what could possibly happen if you running around with one battery? One simple reason. Okay, my batteries got stolen about 2 days ago. But don't really recall how many batteries I had. Originally, how many does a 070 T-Force come with? That really, when you buy a brand new from the dealership, Oscar, if you buy them, they usually come in with two. But it's up to you to put that third one. I always recommend go to three. Don't do two. If he only has two, go ahead and add the third one. And on batteries, you always want to get them tested. You want to make sure that all three batteries are good. Okay? Always make sure that all your batteries are good. Because you might have three and you might be running with two. Or you can have three batteries, but you have two weak batteries. That leaves you with one. I'm not flipping nobody off, okay? You're left off with one battery left. Okay? You don't want to do that. What happens? The simple fact that if you're on rush hour, your alternator is not spinning. Your alternator is spinning, but it gets to a point where it's overcharging itself. No, that's my son and my dog right there. Say hello, Luna. Have you worked on E? Okay, what's E? I'm not sure. Noah, what? Okay, New International 026 motor. No, sir. I sure haven't. I'm not gonna lie, Noah. No, I have not worked on that. The only thing I work on. Okay, sounds good, bro. Thanks. It's Christmas time. Thieves are out here stealing batteries like no other, dude. What I will always recommend, guys, is to put a lock in there, put a key, lock them up with chains, and just put locks on them. I used to put locks on mine. I even put a lock on my fuel tank because people were stealing my fuel back when fuel was like 5 gallons at $5 a gallon. So I would recommend that. But no, I have not worked on anything. 2007 is where I stop at because after 2008, after 2008. Caminante 0804, thank you for subscribing, Caminante. I'm not sure who that is, but Caminante 804, thank you for subscribing. What states are you guys in, or what part of the world are you from? Please let me know where you guys are from and what state you guys are from. So getting back to the battery issue, what could happen if you run on one battery? Well, one, I had battery explode on me before. And basically, okay, Jose, I'm not mechanic leaning. How do I know when a battery exploded? You guys ever smell rotten eggs? That's exactly what a battery smells like. Rotten eggs. Okay, when they explode, that's what and you're gonna see your gauge start climbing down real slowly. Let me ask you this: you're in New York, in downtown area. Your truck dies because Bob didn't want to go put that extra battery or didn't want to change the batteries. Now Bob has to pay a tow truck. That tow truck is not gonna be $50, $60, $70. It's gonna be well over 100, 200, $300, $400. Plus, on top of that, you gotta pay a mechanic. Plus, on top of that, I'm sure you gotta pay a fine for blocking traffic in New York City. I've never been there before, but I can only assume you block traffic there, you're gonna liable to get some kind of trouble, right? So that would be the reason why I would say let's do 3 batteries. If you're in cold weather places, 3 batteries, and if you can afford it, go all the way to 1,000 cranking amps. Because keep in mind, the moment you open that switch, your ECM, your IDM, your TCM, meaning your engine control module, your injector control module, transmission module, your starter, all your fuses, all gonna suck electricity. Okay? Voltage out of the batteries. When you crank it, everything else is gonna suck electricity. And if you're in a cold weather area and you have weak batteries or under 1,000 cranking amps, it's gonna be a little bit harder to start it. Okay, Noah. So far, my 2000 International 47 has been a good truck. Besides the leaks and going through the batteries every year, it's been a good truck. Laughing out loud. Hey, Noah, I'll tell you what, a 2000 beats any payments. Simple as that. Because if I gotta pay $1,200, $1,300 a month on a truck and still have to pay a mechanic and still have to make payments, then it's not business. Okay? And you gotta keep in mind, guys, put this in your minds, guys. And I'm sorry to be so pushy, but I learned the hard way. Try to work on your own truck as much as possible. The only time I went to go see a mechanic was for internal stuff, meaning I had to repair an engine, and that was about it. Caminante 084, I'm going to go a little bit of Spanish here. Saludos, soy Caminante 08 desde Houston, Texas. Tengo una pregunta. Mi camión es 2004 internacional. De José, estoy teniendo problemas en las mañanas para prender. ¿Qué hasta le pongo líquido para que empiece? Okay, Noah, hold on real tight. Okay, Caminante. Lo normalmente que veo yo en ese problema cuando no quiere prender, que solamente con starter fluid, la primera cosa que yo iría son las ligas de los inyectores y las ligas de los rieles. En la mañana agarra la bomba, bombéale, con la que cuando cambias el filtro de diésel, bombéale esa bombita que llevas allá al lado del chofer. Y en la mañana, antes de que prendas el camión, dale así, bombéala. Y si está bien suavecita, significa que estás chupando aire. Pero si está dura, entonces va a ser otro problema. Pero normalmente son las ligas de los inyectores y las ligas del riel de alta presión. Pero empieza con eso, a revisar en la bomba, qué tanta presión tienes. Noah, it used to be a rollback, but it's been converted to a pickup. So it's technically in retirement right now. Ha, ha, ha. Well, your engines work gold, Noah, because I love those engines, dude. Those are the easiest engines to work on. There's electrical stuff, but not as much as the new DT466 without the E. Jay Horsma, is the fuel hand primer rebuildable or does it just need to be replaced? This is on 07 DT570. Okay, Jay. Those have an oil ring on the inside that you can change out. It is held by two bolts in there, and you can actually remove it and change those oil rings. But I mean, if it's leaking already and it's blue, I would just go ahead and replace it because that's what the engine originally came color. It was color blue, so I would just go ahead and replace it. The whole primer pump. Yeah, it's a DT46 with an Allison at 545. Pretty gutless but rebuildable. Yes, International is very rebuildable, sir. Yes, sir. You are right on that. Jay, so getting back to your question, yes, if it's color blue, I will go ahead and replace it because that's the original one. When you do replace that, my recommendation to you, Jay, is remove the whole filter housing. You have an oil ring back there. If you look in the videos that I have there, look for the secret oil ring. I have a video, it's called the secret oil ring, and you're gonna remove filter housing, and you're gonna see what oil ring I'm talking. It's a $40 oil ring that, my God, it makes a world of a difference. Okay, I call it the $40 oil ring because that's how much it costs here in Dallas. The $40 oil ring. Remove that. Change all the grommets. I also have a video on changing grommets. Inspect all your piping. I have a video on how to repair piping if it's damaged. The piping that goes from the actual fuel canister that goes all the way to your little fuel pump, to your little low pressure fuel pump. Replace those oil rings. If you're going to go ahead and do that, just replace all the oil rings around. Make sure you clean the bottom, the bottom bowl, the bottom of the fuel filter bowl. You have a little screen on there. Clean it up. Make sure you inspect your hoses in the back of the filter housing. You have some hoses that you can make sure you pull a little bit on them. And if they're loose, they shouldn't be loose. And if they are loose, verify that there's no liquids down there. Okay. Also, you can look at that. Any other questions, guys? Anybody else here from a different state? De otro estado, que sean de otra nación? Is anybody here from another state, another nation? I know we have somebody from Russia that signed up to the channel. We have one guy. We have a Marine. Hopefully, if you're watching, sir, thank you for your service. We have a Marine somewhere in Japan. He gave me the name of the island, but I can't really remember. We have people in El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala.
Honshu.
Huh?
Honshu.
On shoot?
There are 4 different islands.
Oh, yeah. There's 4 different islands. Hey, Jay Horseman, no problem. Thanks. You're welcome, sir. All those, there's even people in Iraq that have called and got some information. There's been all kind of people that, that we can help. We try to help out everybody. I've been lost for the past couple of days because became foreman at work magically. No, not magically. I worked my butt off. But now it's a whole lot harder. Will a 2012 pedal work? Oscar, it might work. But like I told you, I'd rather stay 1 year after or 1 year before. 2012, like I said, I don't know anything. 08 and up. I don't know anything. 08 and up. I can give you some tips. And do you work on a DT47.3 Power Strokes? Yes, I do, Noah. I do work on 7.3's Power Strokes. They're pain in the butt, but yeah, I do work on them. Pretty much basic stuff on them. I don't go major details because if you guys know it, got it. Oscar Lopez, got it. Okay, Oscar, so just hang tight. I will be calling you after this video chat here. I will be giving you a call to let you know what we're going to be working on tomorrow. But yes, guys, simple as that. If you guys have any more questions, suggestions, let me know what you guys would like to see more here on the channel. I've been busy the past couple of days at work and doing all kinds of things. Right now, I'm going to be honest with y'all, it's real cold. I get out of work late. And right now they're pushing us to the limit. So I'm getting out real late this past couple of days. But yeah, winter time is the least time when you want to work on your truck. Trust me on that. Okay. And another thing, guys, another thing that I want to touch up with you guys before I leave tonight is your truck. You can either set up the appointment to go do your preventive maintenance on your truck. But if you don't do it, guess who's going to do it? not your wife, not your neighbor, not the company you work for, but your truck. Your truck will set up an appointment for you. You're like, hold on, wait a minute, how does that happen? Yeah, let me tell you how. You don't take care of the batteries, you don't check the alternator, you don't check your oil, you don't check your fluids. Your truck is automatically gonna stop somewhere in the middle where you don't want to be. And guess what? Your truck just forced you to get a tow truck to take your truck to go get it checked by a mechanic. And understand, guys, maintenance is the main thing that you guys want to do. How often do you recommend doing an oil change on the DT466? Mostly city driving. Well, Noah, city driving, I would recommend 5500 F max. I don't know if you idle a lot, if you stay in your truck a lot, but I would recommend 5500, especially that engine, DT466E, being an older engine. Keep in mind, oil in the morning when it starts and it's cold, it's thick. When it gets hot, it gets thinner. When it gets older, it gets thinner. When it gets used up, it gets thinner. So guess what it does? It begins to go through the cracks, and now you done damaged your gaskets or you done messed up your oil rings. So I would recommend 55, 6500 pushing it. That's it. I wouldn't recommend no more because and a lot of people say, well, I changed mine at 10,000. Yeah, you can do it at 10,000, no problem. But the thing will be that if your oil begins to give you a lot of headaches because now you got to change oil rings. Okay, hang on, guys. Last question. What is the torque spec for the oil rings? Felix Bonilla. Which oil rings are we talking about? Are we talking about the injectors or torque specs for the oil rings? What oil rings are we talking about, sir? Uh, okay. Do you think that disconnecting the down pipe from behind the turbo will make a difference? Okay. Yeah, it would definitely make a difference. It's gonna be louder. It's gonna be louder. Okay, oil cooler. Those are 10 millimeters, if I'm not mistaken. The 10 millimeters. Send me an email, but I think it's anywhere between 15 and 25. But I want to make sure. I don't want to shoot you a number that you go and break the bolts and you're like, well, Jose said so. So shoot me an email, and I'll definitely shoot you a response on that. But I think it is 15 to 25 pounds of torque on those bolts. But don't hold me to it. Send me an email and I can send you an exact spec on that. What were we talking about? I sidetracked. Somebody remind me, what were we talking about before I had this question come in? Thanks. Okay. What were we talking about? Help me out, guys. What were we talking about? I completely forgot, man. Let me see. Do I have any comments here? Okay, cooler. Do you think that disconnecting the down pipe? Okay, so disconnecting the down pipe from behind the turbo, will it make a difference? Yes, it will make a difference, Oscar. It's gonna be louder, and you're gonna be filtering air that comes straight from the engine out to the atmosphere. That's not good for Mother Earth. That's not good for all of the other human beings, and I don't think it's fair for your generations and my generation. So no. Winstar Robin Hood. Okay, Robin Hood oil change. Okay, Winstar Robin Hood. Okay, your question about oil change will be what, sir? What would your question be about oil change? Oil change. When I do oil changes, I always, if you guys go into the all the videos that I have there online, you guys can actually see where I have a section where it talks about small little tips when you do an oil change. Most of you guys are probably paying 225, 200, sometimes 300 to get an oil change. When if you go to the big store with the W, I have a 2002 T that will start and run for about 5 minutes, then shuts off. What the That's what we're talking. Oh, okay. Thank you, Winstar. Oil change. Okay. All right. So oil change. Yes. If you are running in the city, I would recommend 55, 6,500 miles. Change your oil. Oh, also when you do your oil, if you wanna keep your injectors alive, you want to yeah. Yeah, Walmart. Got my stuff from Walmart. Great stuff. Cheap oil is cheap. Motors aren't. Yes, sir. Thank you for bringing that out. Motor oil is cheap. Engines are expensive. You're looking about anywhere between 2,000 to maybe 6,000. It depends what kind of mechanic you go see. You can walk out with a $10,000 bill for not changing your oil. Keep in mind, gracias por responder. ¿Algún mecánico en Houston que recomiendes? Caminante, no conozco mecánicos allá en esa área, pero podemos ayudarte a ver si podemos diagnosticar eso. John Kane will not restart without a little shot of starter fluid. Runs a little longer, then shuts off again. Okay, John. Will not restart without a little shot of starting fluid. Runs a little longer, then shuts off again. Okay, John. Uh, Obviously, the first thing that I would look at would be your fuel pressure. Okay, go to O'Reilly's if you have O'Reilly's where you're at, or Napa, wherever you have, and go and rent. Is rent. They don't sell it to you. They rent it to you. If you have a credit card, rent it out, or if you don't, just rent it out. They have a fuel pressure, and if you go where your valve stem is at, where the side of the head is, you'll see it on the videos that I have. Plug that up in there, open up your key, and if that gauge moves, you should be minimum 30 pounds. Okay. When you try to start it, if it goes to 60 pounds PSI, then you're good on your fuel side. But if it doesn't go anywhere, if it stays at zero, then you have a problem with your fuel system. Not necessarily your fuel pump. You could have O-rings that are worn out on fuel. You could have a bad fuel pump. You could have a restraint in the fuel tank. You could have clogged up tank breathers. But the easiest ways to find out is basically pump your little primer pump. Pump it, and see if it's soft. If it's soft, you have air in the system. Needs to come out. If it's hard as a rock, then that's when we move on to the next step. Your oil temperature sensor. Oil temperature sensor. If this is the engine right here, okay, this is the engine. You have your high pressure oil pump, and you keep on walking, and you have a little wall right here, and you have a little sensor there. Remove that sensor. If a lot of oil comes out, then you're good downstairs on your oil pressure. You're having oil delivered to that reservoir. If you have no oil coming out, then I would start with the problem downstairs. First of all, that would be the first thing I would look at: oil pressure and fuel pressure. When your truck starts, how high does your oil pressure go? Fuel pressure, hook up the gauge and see what kind of pressure you're getting down there, John. Getting back to your oil changes, guys. Keep in mind, your oil goes through your turbo, goes through your injectors, goes through your air compressor if you have air brakes. It goes through your, where else does it go? Through your engine. It goes through your oil cooler. What fuel additive is good for the injectors? Okay, DJ, hold on. Refresh my mind again here a little bit. Okay, so that's where your oil goes through. It goes through your turbo. It goes through your oil cooler. It goes through your injectors. It goes through your motor. It goes through your air compressor. And there's other places where it also goes. And guess what? If your oil is thin or weak, or if it's overheated oil, that's gonna begin to eat all your oil rings. So that's the reason why I always recommend change your oil 45, 55 if you're on city. If you're on highway, 65, 75 max. Don't go all the way to 10,000 because you're really pushing your engine. Sometimes being a little cheap on the cheap side is gonna cost you on the long runs. Okay, DJ, what fuel additive do you, good for the injectors? Thanks. Oil pressure is real good. I would check fuel pressure. Okay, John. Yes, check that fuel pressure. Get a fuel gauge. John, what state are you in? What city are you in?
¿No le echaste gasolina al carro, a ver?
Oh, mañana le echo. Fuel additive. Okay, DJ, this is gonna sound crazy to you. Okay, but I don't use additives. Once a month or once or twice every month, I put automatic transmission fluid in the fuel tank before I top off my tank. First, I put one of those little 1 quarts of automatic, not standard, automatic, not European, just regular automatic transmission fluid. Pour it in there, and then put your fuel on there. A lot of people are like, well, why in the heck are you doing that? That's for transmission. Well, simple as this. That oil keeps the oil rings clean, and it helps the injectors lubricate. If you're getting a lot of smoke, if you're having injector issues, I will put some of that before I even start touching injectors. Okay. That's the kind of fuel additive I would use, DJ. John, thanks for the oil pressure. The oil pressure is real good. I would check the fuel pressure. Also, John, check your IPR valve. Your IPR valve might be giving out, or it might be weak, or it might be damaged already. Oscar, do you think that by disconnecting the downpipe from the behind turbo truck will run regarding my low diesel pressure on pedal problems? No, because if your RPM is not moving, Oscar, then no. Your If that was clogged up or if it had an issue, your RPMs are supposed to be moving. So no, that would not be. John, Wilmington, Delaware. That must be pretty cold out there. Delaware. Oscar, I thought your batteries were stolen. No, not mine. Oscar, yeah, Oscar's. Yeah, his batteries were stolen. Yes, I think he said that his batteries were stolen. But yeah, John, Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware. Okay. Jay Horseman, I change oil every 450 hours, but my truck has a lot of idle and PTO time. So how much time do you have? 450 hours. So how long does it take you to get 450 hours? Is it a month, 2 months? When I was running border to border, I was changing my oil once a month because I was running about let's say 1,000 miles a week. So I was averaging about 5,000 miles a month. So I was changing my oil then. Let me see what else. Yeah. So you always want to if you what I was gonna say, when you do your oil service, make sure that you always change your fuel filters. 3 months. Uh, okay, Jay. 3 months for me is a long time. Check. Do me a favor. Let's run a little project here. Uh, See how many miles you put in 3 months versus the 4 hours. No, Esme, my batteries did got stolen, but they got new ones already. Okay, yeah. So let's do that. If you change it every 450 hours, let's see how many miles you're putting in there. Because if you're putting in 12,000 miles in 450 hours, then that's bad. But if you're only running, let's say 4,000 miles, 5,000 miles in 450 hours, then you're good. You're not burning that much oil. Uh, any other questions that you guys might have at the moment? Okay, look like everybody's cleared up. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go to sleep. I gotta go take a shower. I gotta put my son 4,500 miles. Okay, Jay. Okay, no, you're fine. You're perfect. 4,500 miles in 3 months. I wish that's what I had. I was running that in a month. Okay, that's what I was running a month. So yeah, if you're doing 3 months, 450 hours, 4,500 miles, you're fine. You're perfect. That sounds good. Just make sure in the summertime you add a little bit of additive to your oil, meaning a little bit of Lucas. Keep that stuff lubricated. Don't put too much in it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Well, I'm gonna head out, and I'll see you guys sometime again next week. If you guys have any questions, you guys can hit me up at fix my 4300 DT466. Fix my 4300 DT466. We're located in Dallas, Texas. If you guys need a hand, or if you guys need for me to come out and do some work on your truck or diagnostic or anything, let me know. I'm in Dallas, Texas, and my email address is fixmy4300dt466 at gmail.com. All right, guys. Well, I'm out of here. You guys have a good night.